Bonjour, bonjour mes rebelles intelligents. Today I share with you an interview with the amazing Erico Rocha. Now, if you're not Brazilian, maybe you never heard of him, but he's super famous in Brazil. He's like the biggest infopreneur in Brazil. And like I shared in my video about Andrew Parabellum, an infopreneur is an entrepreneur who basically sells information products online, meaning like online courses or ebooks, this kind of stuff. Erico has now a huge following online in Brazil, but when I did the interview in 2013, he was still quite unknown, but it was on the rise. And he shares in this video how from a successful but quite bored and quite unhappy banker in London, he became a multi-millionaire in less than 2 years. So I'm here with my friend Erico. Hello Erico.
Hi.
Who is also a great entrepreneur. So I'm here in Brazil in his awesome flat because he invited me for 1 week in his great city. And Erico, I really have an awesome story to share. So I wanted to interview him so that you can know his story and be inspired by it and perhaps have some insight how you can succeed online too. So Erico,
Hi.
Hi. I want to start your story. You were like a worker in London. You had this really well-paid job. What it was?
Well, I used to work as an IT consultant in the investment banking industry.
Yeah.
So in terms, I would help, traders, bond traders, which is European governable bond traders, to calculate prices for those securities. I'm not sure if anyone's a specialist, but that's what I used to do. So I would build big spreadsheets with pricing models, and I started, working for banks like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, UBS.
So yeah. Big banks.
Big banks, yeah.
And you had a big salary.
I did. At the time I used to earn around, it depends. Like the salaries in investment bank is different, but I used to earn an average of 10 to 15,000 pounds a month, right?
Wow, so that's a big salary.
This sort of a minimum 10, to 15,000 pounds a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you decide to stop one day.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I used to work a lot, and despite being very well paid, I didn't feel that I loved doing that. It was great, but it wasn't amazing. I still have to ask for my boss for taking holidays. I used to have to deal with fairly high stressful situations, and whilst that was okay, it wasn't awesome. I wanted more, and I started.
You wanted more freedom.
I wanted more freedom, right? I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life.
How many hours did you work at this time?
It was a typical day was a good case was a 10-hour, and a bad case from 12 to 14 hours a day. Yeah.
Oof.
So 10 hours.
5 to 6 days a week?
Yeah, we used to come to the floor, before the market opened. In London is about 7 o'clock because the market opens in Europe at 8 o'clock, so we have to be there at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we used to leave, a typical day would be 6 to 7 o'clock after the market closes somehow. So yeah, so it was a typical day.
Wow, okay, so you wanted more freedom, more time for yourself?
That's right. And what I did is I had a lot of money. I mean, not a lot of money. I wasn't rich, filthy rich, but I had some reasonable money. So I started buying property everywhere. So I started investing.
Okay.
And I invested all over the place. In real estate, yeah. At the time, I started investing in stocks. I wasn't good at that,
Did you already left your job?
No, not
okay.
yet. No.
You were working and you started investing?
Yeah, because I wanted to one day not be able to work in that environment again. So.
Okay.
And then I started investing, but I felt that although maybe in 10, 15, 20 years that I would work.
It was your hope.
Yeah, but it was my hope. But it felt like it was, when the markets were like growing, I thought, that 1 or 2 years more like that. And but as every market goes up and down, so I actually felt that this will take a lot of years, and then so I started looking for other options, and that's when I actually stumbled across a book.
Yeah.
And the way I stumbled across a book is that we have like 15 rooms. We used to buy big houses in London and split into bed seats for some people, and rent the bed seats separately, so to increase the cash flow. And I have a business partner there, and then we come together and say, hey, I could have my wife being the property manager and we could pay her a salary and stuff. And he said, no, we shouldn't do that, Erico. I just read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek, and this is not the right way to do it. You should read it. And I think read it, and because we have to hire someone to do that instead of just making us another job.
Yeah.
So I bought the book straight away, and I went skiing actually, and I went skiing in Austria. Was the end of
the book?
I think it was end of 2009, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I read the book, and everything was exploding in my mind, and oh my gosh! After the book, I wanted to do a product. I wanted to do an online business, and that's when I did the most craziest thing ever. So I came back. And it was in January, and there's a chapter in the book called Fear, and what was the worst thing that can do with you.
Yeah, how to define your fear.
Exactly. So I defined my fear, and my fear was that one day I would lose my job and I wouldn't be able to, provide for my family and stuff. But, I have money in liquid assets to live for a year. Everything else was in property that was devalued for some reason or the other. So it wasn't liquid. So I said, I can live for a year and still do something. So I went to my boss and quit.
Like that?
Like that.
And you didn't have any plan on what you will do?
No, I have a big saying, and it's big philosophy. I'm not sure where I actually learned that in a personal development course I did before. And in this personal development we're taught about that sometimes we have to throw the hat in the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
And then figure out a way to catch it. That's the easiest and quickest way. It's very painful as well.
Yeah.
Some people call it jump and then figure out how to fly. And I'm not sure if that's the right direction, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I threw it, and it was scary. It was scary. And I remember it was really scary. It was so scary that, and that's 2009, in the middle of the banking crisis. It's not like I can come back easily because there's plenty of jobs. My job was fine, it was secured, but hey, things were not going well in banking.
You were not hiring a lot.
And I had a job, I still had a job, so my area was doing great. So, but I did it, it was scary. And it was so scary that 1 week before, actually, because when you leave it, you tell that you're gonna leave, then you have some notice period, and then you leave, right? So 1 week before my notice period, when actually I was going to leave, I had this nightmare. I wouldn't sleep, and I thought, oh, bloody hell, I did something really bad. I'm stupid. And I went to my boss and tried to do something that it's not actually, I tried to unquit.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah.
You told him no?
I want to go back. I want to go back. Sorry, I'm so sorry. He said, Erico, now we lost your head count, which is your place, and we can just have it. We lost it. Now I don't have a guy, and anyway, so I actually really had to quit.
Wow.
And then I thought I just did something really bad, right? So, and then my wife said, oh, you never took a proper, long holiday for a while, and you're always taking these short holidays. Why don't we just, instead of just looking for a job right now, why don't we do this trip? And in this trip, we went to visit all our friends in Europe, and we started in Switzerland, in a place called Lausanne. Then we went to Rotterdam to visit another friend we had there. We spent a week or 2 weeks there, and then I went to Barcelona, and every second of this trip said, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? My brain was 1,000, because I actually, although I knew, I actually internally wanted to not have to come back to my job. And that's when I had my first idea of my first website, which is called Pro Leilões.
Okay.
Which is, if you translate, it's pro auction.
Yeah, because it's important to note that you are Brazilian, you worked in London, but you created your website in Portuguese to target the Brazilian market.
That's right, because I thought there was less competition.
Okay, which is why.
And in that, I even named the website Pro Leilões, where leilões means auctions, which is all about real estate auctions. And there's in the 4-hour workweek his example of the web business. One example was something called www.prosoundwaves or pro something, and was related to selling special effects, sound effects. So that's where I got the name of my product.
Oh, really?
Was Pro Leilões because of that.
So the book was your blueprint at this time.
Yeah. As much as although the how to do an online business is not what worked for me there, but the idea was the blueprint there.
So you started your first website?
And then I did the first website, and then I put my brother together, and he was just graduating from university. Said, hey, you're gonna work on this with me and stuff, so I'm not alone and stuff. And we built that, and we put it on market. I think that, remember, I quit, I left it in April, put it on market in August, right? And then boom, until like December, I had no sales.
Wow, no sales at all.
No sales, and I had some money in the bank, so I was like driving traffic through AdWords, like 700 visitors a day through paid ads. And
700 a day?
Yeah.
And you didn't make any sale?
Well, I did like not enough to pay for the ads and the server.
Okay.
You know, not enough at
all. So your cost of advertising was higher than the money you got?
The cost of the advertising plus servers plus the whole structure that I have to provide my product, which is a little bit...
So it was not a good business model?
It wasn't. And
okay.
then...
So what did you do?
No, my gosh, and I was desperate. You know, I was desperate because this is now November. And
almost 1 year after you quit?
Almost 1 year. My cash reserves are actually running really low, and I don't have time. You know, like all my other assets were illiquid.
Yeah.
And if I was to call them, and I would lose some money, and you have to think about. And I did the unimaginable. I went there and started looking for a job.
Wow.
And then I actually found one. You know, I found one. I didn't earn that much money that I earned before. It was like 30% or something less.
30%?
Maybe
30% less.
30% less.
Which is.
I used to earn £700 a day, and I came back at 450 a day. So I was charging daily, right?
Okay.
Contracts, and but I got enough money to not getting that or to avoid the worst happening. And it was a time when I actually say, hey, but now I can breathe, now I can provide my families, I can survive, and the worst hasn't happened. But that's when I did a course. But I still thought that the product was good, and I couldn't do online marketing. I just didn't know how to do it, and I knew that there must be a way. You know, like it's not like just you do a website and it will work. It's just
there are companies that make money on the internet, right? So
that's right.
Yeah.
So I did a course, and then it was a course by. Then I bought a course, and I got onto these lists, you know, like, and then suddenly they sold the course, and the first course was from a guy called Jeff Walker, and the course is about launching. I said, great, this guy.
How did you stumble upon?
I actually saw an interview from Tony Robbins, which in times of desperation, that's who you read, right? So when when anything goes wrong, that's me. Anything goes wrong, shit is hitting the fan. Sorry about my French. That you try to find answers. You try to find because there's nowhere to go. You know, you just swim or die, and that's what kind of. So I start reading Tony Robbins. I start reading that, and somehow it saved me. Somehow my mind to survive on that environment. Yeah, and one day Tony Robbins sent me an email, say, hey, I'm doing some interviews with online entrepreneurs, and one of these guys was a guy called Frank Kern. You probably know him. Yeah. Great guy, and I said, man, I love to be a Frank Kern because what he says makes sense, and then I start looking at every free YouTube video from him. Suddenly I sign up from his list. 1 week later, coincidentally, he was promoting a guy called Jeff Walker and his product.
Yeah, okay.
And the name of the product was not Product Launch Form, it was Product Launch Manager, which
was teaching people how to do product launches for their customers.
But I wanted to do product launch, so I bought it anyway. Yeah. And it was like $5,000 up front.
Not cheap.
Not cheap, and it was my first ever product. Actually, my second ever product that I bought. So like gazillion. 2005, I bought an ebook called Google Cash that never, you know.
Never applied.
Never applied. Well, never applied exactly, and then later £5,000. I was in desperation. I was already invested so much, but those videos made so much sense for me. You know, I thought this is the thing. And I invested $5,000. A lot of people thought I was crazy. Paid, never even met or spoke to anyone before I was handling, you know, like a credit card payment. But yeah, I started doing the course, and God thanks, it was everything that I was really. And then I traveled to LA as well at the time.
Because there was an event with the course?
And God thanks I did that, because on that course, on that 3 days in LA, And I've been to several other courses, but that particular course was designed in a workshop way. And although I learned so much there, I learned because we were in groups, we were actually working launches, and all that knowledge that was like actually ingrained in it really made sense for me. Really made sense. And I came back. My brother was there. We came back and said, "Wow, we're gonna." I mean, from that moment on, I knew that we're gonna make it. If it wouldn't be on that long, at that moment long,
it changed your belief.
It changed my belief
because you knew what to do.
Yes,
right?
and I knew I couldn't fail.
Wow. Okay.
I knew that I couldn't fail. Even if I failed, I knew I wouldn't fail for years, because that is just a matter.
Did you believe in this method?
Because
so much?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was groundbreaking.
You had a lot of proof that it's working.
A lot of proof that it's working. Not just proof that you see on the internet. I saw bloody guys walking nearby me that wasn't selling me anything. Say, hey, I applied this and I made it. And that, yeah, and they made it in other niches, in competitive niches, and I knew at that moment, I knew it. There was nothing holding. I may be bankrupt in the way of actually doing it, but I knew there was no way. I don't know how we would, but and then we turned off our website at the time, and then we launched a squeeze page. It was like a website which has several pages of blah 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 blah. We shut it off, put just one squeeze page. So
people can put their email
in exchange for something that we used to provide, some free information on real estate. And I still remember today, 23rd of March 2010, and we have that in video, by the way, that I was in London, still at my job, right? Coming back. I was in London, and we were like, in London it was very cheap to call Brazil from this callback number. So I was with my headphone, and we were opening card, and we just we did actually a 6-figure sales in 7 days.
Wow, so more than $100,000
in 7 days.
Wow.
And then there is a video of them jumping up and down. Was the first hour this and the first hour that.
Wow.
And then, my life changed.
Everything changed, right?
Yeah, everything changed.
You realized that it was really true?
Yes.
That you made a lot of money?
After that, I started having different problems. But life wasn't 1 week later, I had my merchant account saying, hey, this is not, I don't know what's happening. You have nothing, now I have a lot, and I think there must be some scam or something like that. So yeah, they were reticent of the situation. So they actually start calling all the clients. And they say that if we can't find the client for 3 days, then we're going to cancel the sale.
Oh, wow.
That's really.
Oh, it hurts.
It hurts, but in their mind, that's what they, because in their mind they were protecting themselves. They didn't know what
so
was
it was a merchant account in Brazil.
And then I got
you had no money, and then in 6 days
you have money,
and then
$100,000. A week later I have 40% less.
Oh my
because
God.
And in their minds they say, oh no, we just can. You can always make the sale, because in their mind there was never this launching thing that drives through the process. It's just oh yeah, just call them and make the sale. It doesn't work like that. But anyway, I learned it, and I said great. Then I built from there, and
So did you leave your job after that?
I did leave my job. I live in Brazil right now, so as you can see, I live near the beach.
Flat, yeah. We can hear the sea.
Yes.
Right here. Okay.
And so I have a 1-year-old a boy, and one thing and I still work. I work because I like it.
It's interesting because it's a good example of a leap of faith you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not easy for you. At the beginning, you failed. For 1 year, you didn't make any money, and you had to come back to another job.
Yeah.
But at the end, you succeeded because you chose the right teacher with a good method.
Yeah.
Something that really works. A real process that you can learn and apply in business.
There is one bit as well that kind of go unseen.
Yeah.
I threw my hat on the other side of the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if I put myself in such a situation that failure would give me a big of a damage. And in my entrepreneur career, whenever I didn't do that, my brain, whenever you are in a survival mode where you put yourself in a more dangerous, not dangerous, but more risky position, then you work better. And from time to time, that's what I do today. For example, I was I wanted to do a live seminar. Then I sold it before I could do it. And
wow.
and like
you sold the tickets for the event?
I sold the tickets
before
for the
even organizing.
yeah, before I knew
Yeah.
I could deliver it to my promise. But once the tickets were sold, and there was like, you know, like proper $200,000 tickets sold.
So real pressure for you.
Yeah, and then I figure out the brain starts working in a different manner. And then one week before, I still didn't think that I could do it the way I should do it. Then
Wow.
you know the story. I flew to France to meet.
You went to Paris
to
another event, marketing event in Paris.
to be coached on how to do live events.
Like 1 week before your own event.
On big, and when I landed in Brazil, I landed on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And my event started on Friday and landed on Wednesday, knowing that I had to change 100% of it. That I was okay, but there was other speakers and all. So for suddenly I knew I had the lenses of everything was wrong with my event, but a lot of things. But you know, and it was the most, you know, stressful, physically stressful, because I hadn't much sleep, and in the middle of the event I get high 40% fever. It's strange. I get 40% fever in the middle of the event, and I knew that if I would drop there, I would have a huge impact because no one else could deliver. That's about live events that I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But imagine if something happens to me just before the event, it's a huge risk. But I had 40% and I delivered. And I delivered just because there was no, the price for failure at that very specific moment was very high. And the brain understand is really important.
Yeah, it's really important what you said. The price of failure was too high.
It's high.
Yeah.
It's like trying to walk on a straight path. If you do it if you do it like half a meter from the floor, you just walk it. But once if it's like 100 meters from the floor and it's the same path, your level of focus increases 2,000%.
Yeah, so that's a great tip actually. You can do that, for example, by creating only like 10% of a product before selling it. Because if you do like a big course on internet or offline course, and you can procrastinate for 1 year or 2 years perhaps. But if you already sold it and you have like 50 or 100 customers that are waiting for your content, I can promise you will not procrastinate, right?
No.
Because you have this pressure. People are waiting for you. They are waiting for you.
And if you do, man, you gotta pay your price.
Exactly.
And not that you won't do it, and yeah. And I don't advise you to do anything that would endanger your life or in the life of others. You know, like should be controllable risks. Like if I failed at that thing, most thing that would happen is me becoming bankrupt. And hey, I didn't have children at the time, and I felt there's a potential okay price, and I didn't to pay, but what I'm trying to say is that the biggest one action that I could do myself is to put myself in a situation where failure has a high price. And for example, if I don't go to the gym today, what will happen? I get a little bit fat, I won't die. And then maybe in 30 years, maybe I will, if I don't do it, but hey, but if I actually put myself in a situation where I actually make a bet with someone that I actually get I don't know, a reasonable amount of money, which is reasonable for me, say, I don't know, whatever, imagine 1,000 euros is reasonable for you, don't want to end, so get this 1,000 euros, give you to your worst enemy and say, here's the thing, this is 1,000 euros, right on the lid, and if I miss one day, I do not want you to give this 1,000 euros back to me, and that changes because now there is a significant impact and your productivity will rise, and not a lot of people have the stamina to do that, but that's what I did.
That's a great tip, and there are websites that can help you do that, where you can, you know, say, hey, give this money to this political party, the one you don't like, of course, if I don't make this goal, you know, if I don't achieve this goal, if I don't go to the gym every day, you give like 1,000 to the political party you hate.
Some people are not fans of it, but
I think it's a great way
that's one of my little secrets.
Yeah. So you did it with friends?
No, I didn't in particular this, but I did in real life when I actually quit my job without having a job. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And it wasn't fun. in the beginning. As I said, I tried to unquit, and I had worst stomach aches about it, but I'm happy I did it.
So yeah, so now
I prefer to die quick than to die slowly in my job.
Exactly.
Or I'm not saying I'm gonna die, but I prefer to go through it, suffering in a quick way, but take it like it's a bandage, right? I prefer to lap it really quick and get what I get than actually to trying to really slowly die. And I think that's what I was. I was slowly dying. My soul was dying every day I had to go to that job. And
how do you feel about your life right now?
I feel really good.
Yeah.
No, I feel really good. I don't work less. I actually work more than I used to work.
Wow.
Yeah, and not in the sense of, but I actually love what I do. I have like 5 companies right now, and I love starting up. I leave whatever I want. I work. That's one thing. For example, on Tuesday and Thursday, actually, in the middle of the day, like 10:30, 10:50, I take my son to swimming classes because I could. So there's degrees of liberty I never had as a employee.
Way more freedom.
Yeah, I fly to France. I fly to France.
Yeah.
Don't have to ask for anyone, and I love it.
You have time to receive friends.
And the one thing is that I actually building assets. You know, when I quit my job, I used to earn that amount of money. When I quit the job, they say, or the contract, they say, hey, Erico, that's it. You quit. You have nothing. Have no asset.
Sure, you build a business of someone
However,
else, right?
when you build a company, and if you build in the right way, different companies, different potential, you actually have an asset that is actually, it's worth something. Like I'm building something that's worth it.
You can sell it.
And I'm making a difference.
It's what happened. I sold my first company after 10 years, and my employees didn't get anything. I mean, it's normal life because I built it, I took the risk of doing it, and so I had the benefits. So yeah, okay, great, wow. So it's really interesting story. I think you already share a lot of great tips for entrepreneurs. It's mindset that is really important. But do you have like one or more tips for a beginner that want to start now on internet on how you can succeed?
Oh, here's what I would do if I were them. So first, I would find the best guys in the market doing what they in the particular area that they want. I mean, guys that are actually doing it and actually making money. I will buy them their courses, but I don't think that's enough. Well, maybe that it is, but I would actually try to know them personally. I would try to somehow do a relationship with them, like trying to help them or trying to, in a blog environment, is commenting to their blog, sending an honest testimony when they ask to, and hopefully grabbing their attention as a potential partner. And I would, if you could, I would try to ask them to be my mentors. And it's not always possible, but I think one of the things and I would go to live events.
Yeah.
Live events, real live events, where I meet people that actually do this. I think when your brain, again, I believe my brain and myself are different people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I control, sometimes I don't. I believe it works when I actually see something happening and it's like touchable, when I actually can see it. Like your story, for example, when I actually, we all know about these bloggers that claim to, do all sorts of things. We all know it's possible, but actually when I tried and I saw you, I actually say, hey, this is actually possible. And I started blogging late in my internet career. I just wrote.
Yeah, I bugged you for 3 years before you started one, right?
But actually, when I actually that's when I went to Paris at that time for that live, and I actually saw you. Then the 4-hour work week is actually a possibility that you actually travel the whole world and stuff. Because I made a lot of money in the past, right? I make a couple of millions, right?
Yeah.
Like per year.
Yeah.
So, but actually when I saw you actually having success, I actually did my blog. So my brain stopped procrastinating and start producing because it's in. So I would actually see people, I would actually befriend them or try to find a partnership with them. I contact them, help them out, hopefully get into their circle.
Yeah, exactly. Develop the relationship by giving value, and it's awesome because when you are on internet, it's easy to forget that there are real people behind the website, the computers, and it's not because you work on internet that you can't. You can't meet people. It's really important to meet physically, like you said, because you can realize first they are real, and they can inspire you way more better, I think, than only with digital.
And and the other thing that I would say is that we all dream. We buy this ebook of $47 or say $100, and without nothing, and without we build this massive thing. And I have a different approach. I think I like to invest. You know, this is actually I like to see whatever is internet as a business. You know, I invest in it. Really, it's not like don't try to build a business with nothing. No, I actually look at it as a business. With okay, it's cheaper to build an online business than it's an offline business because you don't have to do brand contracts for years and stuff. But you've got to invest. If you want to be a top dog, you have to invest. Or you're gonna be bloody lucky, which I never was in my life. So you need to invest. You need to find the best guys. You need to find the best courses. You need to befriend and be part of their circles. You know, there's a guy that say that your income is usually
the average of the 5 people, of the average income of the 5 people you know.
Plus or minus 20%, and I believe, like, I don't believe that just with the income. I believe for your weight as well. If I was seeing a talk that if your best friend becomes overweighted, increases the probability statistically of you becoming overweighted in 57%. Wow! So there's a Greek guy that did the research. So it's all about the connection. It's all about people, and it's all about meeting them. And before you meet them, just take action. You know, like, don't meet them with questions like something that don't take care. The typical guy that's interesting is a guy, I did that and I failed. I did that and I failed, and I didn't give up, and I did that and I failed. And the guy that is going there until he does it. Yeah, exactly. Unstoppable. There is this good comparison because you taught me some surf lessons the previous day. And I mean, I fell miserably on the sea like dozens of times, right? Yes, dozens. But now I can be on the board for 1 or 2 seconds, which is great for me. Yes. But I mean, in every activity, when you start, you fail and you fail and you fail again until you start succeeding. I'm yet to find one guy, and I know a lot of successful entrepreneurs right now. When I was in banking, I knew no one. I just knew successful employees or successful career makers. But now I am yet to make one guy that actually did it. It was just hit a jackpot and it did it I'm yet to make one guy that set up the website and it exploded. I'm yet to make him. I don't know, maybe there is, but none of the people that I actually... It's not common. It's not common. Yeah. Not common for the people I know. Wow, so really great tips. I'm sick. Yeah, so as you can see, I hope that you took a lot of the mindset of Erico, which I think is really great. Please, I want you to choose at least one action after this video that you will apply in your real life. If not, like I love to say, it's more masturbation for your brain than really knowledge that you can use to change your life. Don't hesitate to see this video again and again if you want to be inspired and really take all you can from the mindset of Erico. And thank you for seeing the videos. Thank you, Erico, for these great tips. And see you next time. Bye. Bye. Voilà mes rebelles intelligents. I hope you liked this video and you learned some useful tactics and strategies to succeed also with your business. To complement this video, you are free to receive an extract of my upcoming book in English, and the extract is 3 principles to succeed in every field of your life. Sounds too good to be true? I'll let you see by yourself. So to receive it, just click on the thumbnail. You can also watch these complimentary video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any amazing video. Thank you for watching. See you soon, and in the meantime, don't forget, be intelligent, be rebel, and be part of people who build an empire online. Ciao!